What up, y'all? As we proceed to give you what you need, this is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. Check this little story out that I have for y'all.
Very little bit, rest less. He was just, man, please help me. Do it, help me, please.
Police say prominent Black Lives Matter leader Mujahideen Moy was gunned down on Bienville Street just before 1:30 Tuesday morning. You can see Mujahideen in this video walking through Kakamo Auto Repair's parking lot with a black mountain bike. He continues across Bienville Street and drops the bike. Moments later, several police cars pull up and find Moy on his back on the ground, bleeding from a gunshot wound on his thigh. Investigators say they found a 2-block-long trail of blood. After he dropped his bike right there, a witness says he stumbled across the street and collapsed in front of his house.
My wife and I were putting up the fence, and it was late at night, 1 o'clock, 1:30 or so. And I went inside, I heard some shots. And when I came back out to see what's going on, the guy was laying right here in front, right here. Just begging for help.
Curtis says he has 2 of Moy's belongings, which he hopes to return to his family.
I had the guy's keys up there. He had a flute that he played music, I guess. And I'm like, gangbangers and things like that don't carry flutes.
It wasn't until the next day that Curtis realized who Moy was. Moy captured national attention when he grabbed a Confederate flag from a protester during a live report in South Carolina. His family and friends gathered for a vigil in his honor in Charleston Tuesday night.
I don't ever think he felt appreciated or felt that people believed in what he was doing 100%. So he would be very happy to know that his work was not for nothing.
Meanwhile, Curtis says the shooting has him very emotional.
Born and raised here, I still have never been that close to something like that. Born and raised here, I've heard things happen and all, but just never been never hit that close to home, put it that
way. Okay, guys. I don't know what was up with the sound, and I appreciate... Whoa, hold on, guys. Yo, these people are crazy. But anyway, I apologize for the constant break-in of text messages through that. That's what happens when you play these videos through your phone. But anyway, listen, to the brother Mujahideen, I think his name is. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong, Mujahideen. But rest in peace, to the young brother. And, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because we spend an awful lot of time running around trying to convince people that Black Lives Matter all over the place. And as you can see, the young brother went and snatched somebody's Confederate flag. He was very passionate about this. He's very gung-ho, apparently. And he put a lot of energy into trying to fight white supremacy. But the point that I usually like to make in my standpoint on all of this is that it starts at home. And this is the kind of thing that we're missing. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know for a fact who shot this young man and killed him, but listen, y'all know what that looked like. Okay, he was walking around after 1 o'clock in the morning, got shot in the leg, and you saw the way he was walking. He wasn't in any hurry. He wasn't trying to get to a hospital. He wasn't screaming. He was walking until he just passed out. If that man, because I saw this online, and I saw the comment section, and oh, gotta be careful, man. It sounds like somebody's trying to break in. But anyway, if that man had been attacked by the Klan or the Nazis or the skinheads or some shit like that, I think you would have seen more panic in his step, more urgency. Now, I think that young man was shot by another black man. That's what I think. Or something else. I don't know. We're not going to know anytime soon. The point is that we need to feel the same sense of urgency that we feel when we're trying to fight white supremacy as we do when we're trying to fight it in our own community. Now, I'm not concerned with white-on-white crime, okay? Yeah, I'm concerned. See, let me put it this way. People like to combat the concept of black-on-black crime by pointing out that whites victimize whites and Asians victimize Asians and Latinos victimize Latinos. But my thing is how does that make you feel better? How does it make you feel better to be able to say that white people do it too? White people do it too? Fucking pathetic, man. It's like we have to come from a standpoint of self-preservation. It's not fucking acceptable to be able to deflect by pointing out what other people do to distract from what we're doing. You have to be concerned with what's going on in your community is my point. Of course I'm upset when any life is lost, regardless of color, regardless of race or religious background. Any loss of life is tragic. What I'm talking about is being concerned with what's going on in your community, in your own backyard. Now, this young man considered himself to be a Black Lives Matter activist, and his black life was probably taken by another black life. And you think that's not an issue? Isn't it time we got over this bullshit? I think it is. I think it's about time that we started being honest with our children, because our children are the ones who are going to lead us into the future. They're the ones that are passionate. They're the ones that have the fire burning within them. And you keep directing them to chase after some white supremacy fucking ghost when they should be looking at what's in, even if, okay, listen, even if white supremacy is so-called real. See, I know that racism is real, okay? It's like, I understand what you mean by white supremacy, but honestly, I hate that notion. I hate that term, because you put white and supreme in the same sentence. And to me, that does something to our children psychologically. If you want them to fight racism, it has to start with a sense of self-esteem first. It has to start with a sense of self-preservation first. If you have an issue where you see that we're not loving each other the right way, we're not building families, we're not building wealth, well then that's where you have to start first before you start running up on somebody else looking like a piece of shit talking about, you gotta respect me. How does that make any sense? You don't have your shit together, but you want to run up on somebody else talking about respect me and value my life. Tell me something. I don't know all the answers. I'm not a scholar. I'm not an intellectual. Someone please look this up. Google it for me. At what rate do we abort our unborn children in the black community? Can someone find out for me? I'll look it up after I'm done with this video, but I just want you to do it too. Answer this for yourself. At what rate do we abort our unborn babies in the black community? At what rate do black people divorce? At what rate do we even get married? Where is this Black Lives Matter shit in our everyday life? Or does it only matter when someone from outside of our community kills us? That man had a lot of fire inside of him. Did you see the way he jumped over that tape to grab that Confederate flag? Our children have so much potential. God damn, man, I tell you. Sorry, guys. What can I say? But anyway, our children have so much potential, so much untapped potential. They can go so far in this life, but we have to free them. We have to free them for what our parents and our grandparents taught us as far as our struggles in this country. Remember, there has been progress, so we cannot continue to act like it's still the 50s or the 60s or even the 70s. We have to adjust the game to where we are today in 2018. If we can benefit from our education system, then we have to do it with a sense of purpose that we're trying to make it better for the future generations. We have to teach our kids to have that sense of purpose. If we want to build healthy, strong black families, then we have to bury the bitterness that we as black men, that you as black women have in your heart, and the disdain that we carry for each other, apparently. If we can't make our relationships work, okay, that's us. But our children shouldn't be burdened by what we've been burdened by. We have to raise them to be able to identify the greatness in one another. I don't see a whole lot of that going on. We have to raise them with a sense of purpose. If we want things to be better, we can't just continue on with the same bullshit that we've been doing over and over again for the last few decades. We have to say that this will be the last generation that does that. Now I know, listen, I know it's not easy. I'm divorced. My marriage didn't last. Well, you know, it lasted something like 16, 17 years, but it's over nonetheless. But the point is that I can't put any bitterness that I might feel inside of my heart onto my son. And I'm hoping that somewhere someone is raising a daughter to be the same way. You know, we do want to get better. We do want to be more contributing to the society in which we live. And a lot of us are. A lot of us are doing just fine. But I'm talking about as a community, we can, of course, have a better identity nationally and on the world stage. We need to snuff out the ones who are doing wrong, and it starts right here in our homes, each of us. It's not about jumping out in the street, holding up signs. It's not about being confrontational with white people. We start in our homes. We get the respect that we deserve. And if we don't, then there's a problem. But the way I see it, we've been missing a step. We've been missing accountability. We've been missing morality. We've been missing responsibility. We've been missing shame. And it's time for us to get those things back if we're going to make an effective change in the way that we're perceived in this society. Now to the brother whose name I know I'm getting wrong. I want to say Muhyiddin. Once again, I send your condolences out to the family. You were raising or had raised a warrior. I'm just sorry that he seemed to have been misdirected. And I mean that with all due respect. But the battle is not across racial lines today. The battle is in our homes. The battle are the changes that we make in our heart and in our minds. That's where we start. I'm not saying that there's no such thing as white supremacy. Of course I'm not. I'm not saying there's no such thing as racism. I'd be a fucking idiot if I did. I'm saying that we have to strengthen ourselves first. The only way to do that is by confronting ourselves in our homes, in our families, and in our relationships. That's the way it works. If you believe that Black Lives Matter, then that's the way you're going to approach this. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Just something to think about. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.